A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Mark, chapter 12, verses 38 to 44. Passage taken from the Message version of the Bible. He continued teaching, "Watch out for religion scholars. They love to walk around in academic gowns, preening in the radiance of public flattery, basking in prominent positions, sitting at the head table at every church function, and all the time they are exploiting the weak and helpless. The longer their prayers, the worse they get, but they will pay for it in the end." Sitting across from the offering box, he was observing how the crowd tossed money in for the collection. Many of the rich were making large contributions. One poor widow came up and put in 2 small coins, a measly 2 cents. Jesus called his disciples over and said, "The truth is that this poor widow gave more to the collection than all the others put together. All the others gave what they will never miss. She gave extravagantly what she couldn't afford. She gave her all." The Gospel of the Lord. Reflections on the Gospel according to St. Mark, chapter 12, verses 38 to 44. From the beginning of his public life, Jesus came into conflict with the representatives of the religious institutions, the scribes and the Pharisees. They called him a heretic, and Jesus called them thieves and robbers who had turned the temple into a den of thieves. Today's gospel begins by presenting Jesus' attack against the scribes. During the exile in Babylon, there was no longer a temple, and therefore the scribes gathered the people to listen to the reading of the Torah. When they returned from Babylon, the scribes became the official interpreters of the Word of God. Jesus denounced their behaviour. They liked to go around in long robes to attract everyone's attention. Jesus could not stand these comedies. A person united to God, to God's thoughts, to God's feelings, never worried about attracting attention to be admired. A prophet wants to be heard, not admired. To distinguish themselves from others and to show their superiority, these spiritual and religious leaders used special attires. It's a pathetic way of begging for attention, of seeking vain glory. The scribes of Jesus' time are no more, but do we notice Pharisaic behaviors today in our church communities? How often do we come across people who try to enhance their personal glory by adding honorary titles to their names and by demanding the bowing and hand-kissing? If there is a ranking in the church, the greatest ranking should be given to the disabled, the poor, the needy, the sinner, because they were the ones who became friends of Jesus. Anything that created separations and divisions among the people angered the Lord. The only time Jesus speaks of condemnation is against people who created divisions in the community. Today's passage is a caution for the clergy and leaders of the church who causes divisions in the community on accounts of rites, rituals, and traditions. Mark also presents the story of Jesus commenting on the offering of the poor widow in the temple treasury. We understand that Jesus was appreciating the selfless offering of the poor widow. Perhaps there was something more to it. Jesus was already fed up with the temple administration and the evil deeds of the priests of the temple. How would he recommend the poor widow to contribute all her livelihood to such a corrupt system? He must have been expressing his discomfort by pointing out, this poor widow has offered all what she had. He must have been condemning a system that demanded an offering to the church treasury, even from the poor and the helpless. Let us reflect. Are clericalism and discrimination still a problem in our church? Is there anything that I can do to promote equality and fraternity in my community?